Hey, this is Retired Geek Woman Adventures with Rhiannon, Stardew Valley 1.5, part number 51. We are going to pick up right where we left off, which is the 26th day of fall in year number 2. And we are going to say good morning to Harvey like we do every single day and then get busy. We always check the mail first if we got any. And let's see, Spirits Eve is coming up tomorrow and it starts at 10 p.m. Really, it's the only event that I can remember in my bad memory where it starts at the time that the other ones usually end. So it's a nighttime thing. When it's over, it's midnight and you end up on your step at midnight when you leave the party or whatever it is. Most of them are not quite like that. They start during the day some point, and when it's over, it's 10 p.m. on your front porch. So that's the only one that's like that, and it's no big deal either way. Just thought I mentioned the weird little tips like that for no apparent reason because they pop into my brain. Things are coming up along pretty well on the farm. I'm really excited that after spending $100,000 for the next upgrade on the farmhouse, we already have $32,000 in the bank. So that's really good that we're not super broke. So I'm really excited about that. That makes me happy because a lot of times when we spend the money for something big like that, we have like $2,000 or something. So that's one of the reasons why I waited until I did it, so I knew that my bank account wouldn't be completely empty. Sorry if I sound a little gravelly this morning. I've got, in the time I'm recording this, it's becoming springtime and weather changes always mess up my voice and stuff. So sorry about that. We'll get through it together. So we're going to go ahead and pick up everything. I don't want to lose that diamond. Diamonds were 750, and that was from our crystallarium. I wanted to mention that in case anybody hadn't seen that before. I am picking up a lot of new subscribers, and I don't know if y'all have been playing this game before or if you're just interested in learning about the game. Whatever reason, I'm really glad that you're here. I really appreciate my subscribers so much. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your likes on my videos and all kinds of ways that you make me feel appreciated. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. It really does help YouTube like me more, and they start sending my videos to other people, and that makes me happy too. So we're checking the greenhouse and kind of watching for our plants to pop, and it's going to be a little while on that. We've gathered everything from our coop and barn. What I'm going to do, see that cheese there? That's going to make a 7-10. There's 10 cheeses and 10 wines, and we're saving those for a very important reason, soon to be announced whenever Robin is done with her hard work. As you can see there, she's working hard on that farmhouse. We're going to check anything that's ready. It looks like there's some bok choy ready. There's only 2 days left in the season, so we won't be able to plant anything else, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and just let the field go empty, and then we'll replant it in the springtime because you can't plant crops in the wintertime. It's okay. We got plenty of other things that we want to do in the wintertime. So we do have quite a bit of bok choy. Normally I don't have that much, but I had a few extra days that I knew I could plant it and it would grow in time, so that was the reason for that. So it looks like we've got most of our chores done. As I walk by here and I'm looking at our ores that we have, we want to make sure we keep that ore supply going all the time, because it's so frustrating when you want to create something and you don't have the ore you need. So if you have a charcoal kiln, which I do, and I've got 2 furnaces, which I do, and I just keep them going, and I have to keep it even. In my brain, it needs to be even. 39, 39, 41, and 40. That's close enough. If it goes way off of that, then I go nuts. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't deal if I have 39 of one and 10 of the other, so I try to keep them even. In our recent adventures in the mine, we picked up a number of geodes. We've got 3 omni and 3 frozen ones. So we're going to take those over to Clint and have him pop them for us. So appreciate that, Clint, if you could take care of that for us. No Clint. Where the heck is Clint? Isn't that weird? I didn't think that he closed like ever. The door was unlocked. So I don't know. The NPCs have their own schedules, and once a year, one day out of the year, they will have a visit with the doctor for an annual checkup, which I think is a wonderful little detail that's in there. So I don't know where Clint is. I have no idea. Like I said, his shop was unlocked, and when we walked in, he wasn't there. So, secret ingredient spaghetti. That makes me a little bit nervous, considering the fact that Gus had bought a whole bunch of crabs. So who knows what maybe that's his secret ingredient. I don't know. He didn't tell us. It's just a funny little comment that Mayor Lewis makes. So I think what we're going to do is run down to the dock and check our crab pots. We're trying to catch lobsters for Gus, and I don't know how many times we've tried. I've lost track of how many times we've tried. But so far, no luck. I don't know if I don't know what the percentage is. I do know they're in the right place. I double checked that yesterday off camera. It said saltwater, so they're in saltwater. So I don't know why it's taking so long. Maybe if I had brought all of my crab pots down from my pond, and I may end up doing that if I don't get them here real soon. Just looking through at the things that Willie had for sale. I may do that because it's like I want to get this off my list. We got some trash and a clam, so that's okay. And I rebaited them. I had gone into Willie's, thankfully he was open, and grabbed a couple pieces of bait so that we could rebait those crab pots. And then we always check this little island over here for any forageables. You never know when there's going to be something good down here, and I'm really looking for, yes, the coral. Saving up coral. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to have enough deluxe speed grow for the spring planting because of the oak resin, because you use an oak resin and a coral to make that. And right now we're still working on the kegs. The kegs take oak resin as well, so that's why I'm probably not going to have enough to for our first planting, and you have to put it down before you plant. So that's okay. We'll do the first one without, and then hopefully by the time the second planting comes around, we'll have enough. We'll see. I'm still wanting to get as many kegs in our keg shed as humanly possible. And I thought I would peek in here and see if Clint if Clint was in here. I don't see him anywhere, so I don't know where he went. That's really strange. And I can always, if I want to know where someone is, I can go to if I have to and I don't want to guess at it, I can go to the wiki, and you can just go to the wiki, which there's a link down below for that. Type in like Clint, for instance, for his name, and it will give the schedule for Clint or anyone else. And I wonder, is he back here? Isn't that strange? So I didn't do that. It's like, it doesn't matter. He's not here. I'm not going to get what I want. So anyway, I thought I'd poke around his place just to be nosy, and it didn't work. So, okay, that's all right. Home we go with a few things that we have, and we can continue on the rest of our day. Like I said, it doesn't make that big of a difference. If he's not in his shop, it doesn't matter where he is, because he won't do the geodes unless he's in his shop. And so we got a few things that we can pop in here: oysters, the clams, and the sea urchin. And I'm going to start, this is a recycling machine right here. And so I'm going to put things in the recycling machine, and it creates useful stuff. So like we got coal right then. So that was cool. I think we got coal. So anyway, you got whatever you put in it, it has a specific thing based on the trash that you put in there. So all very useful things from trash. It really does bug me that you cannot recycle the Joja Cola cans. It's like, okay, maybe they're not, I don't know why you can't recycle. There's got to be a reason. I'm sure Concerned Ape had a reason. I just don't know what it is. Drives me crazy though. It's like, okay, it's like that's the first thing people ever recycle, right? And we've got more oak resin. This is fantabulous. I'm so excited. Let's go down and check here. I've tapped as many trees as I can. This may be our last ones that we get. and there's another one over to the right there. That may be the last ones we get because the trees go dormant in the winter. And most likely what I'm probably going to do is chop all the trees down and then redo the area where I have the trees that I'm going to tap probably over the winter. I think that wintertime is just a fantastic time to do stuff like that. There's nothing, you don't have anything else you have to do. You don't need to plant. You don't need to harvest. All your animals are cooped up, no pun intended, in the barn and coop, and they're being fed from the silo. So, you know, it's a great time to rearrange your farm, move things around. You can see things better. I don't know. It's the time that I do it anyway. So as you saw, we were able to make more kegs. Now, oh, this is fantastic. Look at that. We're almost up to 20. It's 19 inside and 1 outside. So that makes 20. So whatever we fill it next time, there needs to be 20, unless we can get another keg. And I don't think we're going to be able to. We only got 2 days in the season, and then everything goes dormant. So that's probably going to be it. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with how many we have. I was just taking a look here and looking for how many do I have of things as far as what I want to put in the kegs. And so that's why I'm going to take an assessment here and like, okay, this. Cranberry seems to be the main thing, but we want to put other things in there too because I don't want to run out of cranberries. So there's only got really 3 batches out of what I have, but I want to make sure I have enough cranberries left over to make seeds for next fall. Usually by the 15th of the month when I start cranking up seed production for the following season. That's how it will usually run. I don't know if I'm going to have enough of the vegetables the produce that I need to make the seeds for spring. We'll have to take a look and see. And if we don't, then we'll have to go buy it. But one of my goals is to become self-sufficient. And so that's what I'm shooting for. And what I'm doing here is I really think that I should make some more preserve jars to kind of, I have the resources available, sort of. I have enough coal. It's going to take our coal down, way down, but that's okay. I'm just kind of just randomly grabbing a bunch of resources here to make more kegs. That's what I'm thinking here. And it looks like I can, with what I had in my pack, the miscellaneous amount that I had in my pack, I can make 5. And I thought, yeah, we can probably make a few more. Let's just grab, again, I didn't count it. Normally I'm super OCD about that, OCD. I kind of count exactly how much I need, and I get exactly that much in my pack, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's just ridiculous that I am that way. But it's a little bit of OCD-ness. It's not horrible. It doesn't ruin my life, but sometimes it dictates a couple things that I do. So anyway, I'm trying to get a few more kegs, more money. So I don't know if we're going to have enough produce to kind of run through the winter, but we'll see. As you saw, I didn't really sell any this year, any produce. I didn't sell any in the shipping bin at all. I've been saving for that very purpose, because you make so much more if you process things, and it creates artisan goods. I wanted to make another one, so it's like, whew. Barely. There we go. That's 10. So anyway, I don't know why I came up with that number. I can't remember how many I was trying to make, but that's okay. Again, it's just coal, wood, and stone, all things that we can pretty easily get, with the exception of coal, and even that's not tough. We can feed wood through the charcoal kiln to make more, and so wood is plentiful. We can get it in so many places. But I hate it that it takes so much. It takes 8 coal for each preserve jar, but that's okay. We'll make up the difference as we go along. And again, as I said, I don't think I'm going to have enough produce to keep those things cranking through this winter, but we'll try. Anything we have that can be gelled or pickled, we're going to be running it through there and making as much money as we can with our processing. So to me, that's one of the really fun things and one of the most satisfying things about Stardew Valley's farming, is that I can make my own stuff I kind of don't like the mechanism of putting it in the shipping bin. I wish there was another way. I don't know what that way would be. I don't know. Not sure. I don't know that I can give any suggestions to Concerned Ape about that. It is a shipping bin. It gets shipped and it gets picked up automatically during the night by Lewis, which is kind of a little bit creepy. Have him creeping around the farm at night. That's what he said the very first day. And I said that in my video of that very first day. It's like, okay, that's just a little bit off. He's sneaking around at night. But that's how you sell things, and that's A-okay. That works. So we're going to go ahead and put the kegs in. As you can see, I'm leaving kind of room here that I can walk in between. I know this is the smaller shed. It's the first one that you can build. Eventually, these two sheds are going to be increased so that they are bigger inside on the inside. They look the same on the outside, basically, but they're increased in size on the inside. And you can put a lot more kegs and preserve jars in them, which I will do because that becomes one of my big money makers, is to keep those things cranking all the time. And obviously the more kegs and preserve jars you have, the more money you make. So we'll eventually get around to doing that. So I'm trying to get one more keg made, and you can see I'm just kind of like, okay, come on here, charcoal. I don't know how many seconds that it takes, but my patience is like, not there. So anyway, we need 8 of them, and then we can make one more, and I think that finishes off the row in the back. I think when I walked out, it didn't count, so I don't know for sure how many, but that's okay. And that should be able to give us a good amount of money throughout the winter if we can keep our stuff in there. Probably if I'm smart, what I'll do is I will try to make my seeds first, and then see how many I have left over. Or I could do it the other way, just crank the stuff through it and go buy the seeds at Pierre's in the spring, which I hate doing that. But it's only because I've gotten far enough in my other save that I never ever have to buy any seeds. I'm growing everything. So, and I know that took time for that to happen, but that was a goal I had, to be self-sufficient, and that's what I call it. Meaning I don't need to go buy stuff for anything. I don't buy wood, I don't buy stone, I don't buy coal, I don't buy seeds. I try not to buy anything like that. So I want to make everything I can on my own by myself. That's just a thing. So there's some interesting threads on the forums, which there's a link in my descriptions. I definitely encourage you to go there, create an account, and say hello to the folks there. They have been absolutely fantastic over the years, helping me figure out how to play this game. Anytime I had any questions, they were just always just right there to give help and tips and suggestions. There's been some threads lately about motivation to keep playing, and so I think the answers have been just fantastic, and that is to create goals for yourself. Put things down. What do you want to achieve? And so one of the very early on things that I wanted to achieve is to be self-sufficient and not have to buy any seeds. With our last keg, that is going to give us 20 inside the shed and 1 outside, so 21 is going to be the number. So right, look at that, we had 9, so now we have 21. So I was very happy that I was able to create that many, and that will help us create money. So, you know, I'm not in this actual huge hurry to be rich or anything like that. That's not what I am about. But at the same time, I want to achieve a lot of things. So when we had gone down to visit Krobus, you saw that I mentioned there was a couple things we wanted to buy. We want to buy us one of the Stardews. I'm not saying the right thing. My gosh, I can't remember what it's called. It raises your energy. And the other thing I want to get is the return scepter. And it's 2 million for that. So those 2 things alone, we need a lot of money for that. I want to build the obelisks that get you around faster. So for instance, I want one that goes to the beach. I want one that goes to the mountains, goes to the desert, goes to the island. Ooh, we haven't talked about that. That's a secret. So there's different ones that I want, and they're very expensive, as you saw. We went to the wizard's place, and we did a task for him, and he showed us that book where we can order those buildings to be made. We want to build Junimo huts so that the Junimos can harvest our crops for us. It'll free us up to time to do other things. So that's a lot of money. Again, you're seeing that money is important in this game, but I'm not in a big hurry. There's certain things I wanted to get done by the end of winter, and actually I believe I've already achieved them all. So here we are, looking at our things that we got. 4,000 overnight. We are on the 27th day of fall, year number 2. This is the last day of the fall season. And so we got a few things to do. We got 36,000 in the bank. That's not bad, considering that we don't have any urgent things that we're trying to save money for. So I was really happy to see we got pumpkins that popped. So that's awesome. Pumpkins can, besides from the seeds that I want to make for next year, you can pickle pumpkins, and that they are one of the highest, there's like 2 of the most rarest expensive items, and they're actually growing in the greenhouse there. But for the non-specialty ones, I don't know how to explain it. For the regular crops for the fall, pumpkins are the highest value, and you can usually get 2 full crops in the season if you do it right. And if I use deluxe speed grow, I don't know if I could have done 3 or not. I've never really paid attention to that. So it's I accidentally left the door down. I clicked on it yesterday by mistake, and I missed it that I had done that. And so all of my chickens are inside. My chickens and my bunny rabbit are all inside, which makes it quick for giving them a pet, but I want them to get outside. It's like, guys, go outside while you can. You've only got 1 more day or 2 more days. Go enjoy the sunshine. So that's what I'm telling them to do. Get out there. Go enjoy the sunshine. So we come back up here, and it's like, yes, I closed it. So I open it up and watch it. We should have just stood there and watched them. It's so funny to watch them pile out. They're just too cute. So come on, guys, watch them. Look at them. Aren't they funny? And they follow a direct path. It's like, don't come out. Go back. There you go. They follow a direct path along. They all follow each other, and I think it's so funny and cute to watch them. So let's stand here and watch them march into the field. Like, she locked us in. She locked us in. Isn't that cute? That hadn't happened before, so I thought you might enjoy seeing them march out of their coop into the open grass and enjoy their last 2 days of being outside. So supposedly, I don't know if this is true or not, supposedly they're happier. It helps your relationship if they eat grass. I don't know how true that is. I don't know how much. So before we go inside and go see how our new farmhouse looks, I want to pick all my pumpkins and harvest anything else I can from the field. I'm sure hoping that the rest of them will pop for the end of day. They'll either pop in the morning or they won't. If they don't, then we've lost them. I planted them too late, whatever is there. So we'll see tomorrow. But we got quite a few pumpkins. That's awesome that we've already picked, and some corn as well. So I'm very excited to show you the inside of the farmhouse and how it looks. I've teased about this forever, and I haven't told on this playthrough what happens, because I know I've got people watching that have never seen this before. They've never played the game before, and they don't know what happens. So looky here. We now have stairs to go into the cellar. Look! We now have a cellar, and in the cellar we have casks. The purpose of the casks is to age cheese, and I just really messed up there, and wines. So this is a huge game changer and money seller. You can see when I put the wines in, they don't have any stars. The reason why the cheeses had stars is because they were already gold star, and we need to get them to iridiums quality. Now it takes a while for this to happen, but when it does, it makes a huge difference in the amount of money we would have got if we had just thrown those wines in the shipping bin, and the amount of money we will get if we age them. And that is a huge game changer for us. Now it takes quite a while. I don't have it in front of me how long it takes for it to happen. We start off initially with 3 casks, but we can make more and put them down there. So what I'll end up doing is filling that room pretty much as I can with as many casks as I can. And because obviously the more you have down there, the more you make. Now, in the future, I will know how many I have in each row. So that's how many I will do one of each thing. So like if a row becomes free, I'll fill it with wines or I'll fill it with cheeses. So I'll make sure that whatever I put in there is all the same. And that is a me thing. I want to get it all synchronized. But for now, that's all I had. And I wanted to get it processing as quickly as possible. So we can start working on those things that we talked about. So it's going to take money to do that. Oh, look at all these trees. Oh my goodness. That's okay. Might as well chop them down and get the hardwood. And wow, we did get a good amount of hardwood. I probably should plant those trees, a rows of them just for harvesting. That would probably be a good idea. Also, I wanted to note that I am getting random, oh my gosh, I'm getting random hardwoods. Change of thought. I got some more oak resin. Look at that. Oh, that is awesome. The question is, what am I going to do about it? Am I going to make more kegs, or am I going to save it for getting started on our deluxe bee grow? Oh boy, that's a tough one. We'll see. So I'm just kind of cleaning up, chopping down some trees, getting them out of the way. I hate to chop these small ones down because we're going to end up, they grow into big ones, and then you get more wood or whatever it is that you're going for. It's like, whatever's in the way, get out of my way. That you saw that we have a golden clock that we can buy for 10 million. One of the really nice advantages to the golden clock is you no longer get stone and the little pieces of wood that get in your way. That no longer happens on your farm after you do the golden clock. But that's a very far down the road end game, if you will, thing, late game, if you will, to have that item. I do have that in my 10-year or 11-year farm, and it's really cool. It's beautiful, and it's also a status thing to look at and go, yep, I did that. I earned the money for that. Plus, you don't get trash on your farm every season when the season changes. So what I'm trying to do is get to those trees so I can get to the saps, and I'm cutting down the ones that I don't need. All of these are going to go dormant anyway, so I might as well chop them down and get the wood. It's like, okay, let me get that. There we go. Oak resin. Yes, yes, yes. And just picking up some wood and doing some cleanup. So I really think that's probably going to be it. I said that yesterday on the 28th and 26th, but here on the 27th we got more. So I was very happy to see that. That we had a couple more, or 3 more actually. I'm just not sure what I want to do about it. So I'm thinking. That's why I'm standing here in the middle of my field looking at all these different things, thinking, what do I want to do with that? So... and double checking my crops. I want to make sure that I've harvested everything, even though we have one more day still. I want to make sure, okay, I'm looking in here. It's like, okay, we've got 20 inside of those kinds. And I think I was kind of counting, going, how many do I have? And we need one more here to make 20. So I'm pondering this. What do I want to do? And the answer is I want to make one more, kind of even it out, and that will give us 21 of each type. And it's like, oh my gosh, look at all these resources just from chopping down and cleaning up. Awesome. Probably go find Clint today if we can make it in time. I tend to get singularly focused sometimes and forget, oh yeah, I needed to go see Clint today. So that is going to give us 20 inside and 1 outside, so 21 kegs and 21 preserve jars. So that is a pretty good start on getting us good monies. I'm keeping the seeds from the trees still. And the other thing I'm doing is I want to make sure that I have the proper number of the fruits or vegetables that I'm going to put in the keg or the preserve jar, and keep it in the chest that is located in each of those sheds. So obviously we're going to need, from going forward, probably through the rest of the winter, we need to have 21 of whatever I have. I like to keep spares in there because it's faster. So when let's say if I come in here and they've all popped, then I can run around and take 21 and fill them all in real quick. And that really does make things go faster. So eventually I'm going to have 21 of a number of items for the kegs and the preserve jars, and have them all ready to go. Like I said, it makes things faster and more efficient. I like to be faster and more efficient. And I'm also just kind of getting things out of the way here. It's like, we really need to put more pathways. Eventually we'll get all these pathways built. And I was just kind of knocking stuff out of the way. I thought, okay, this is wasting my time. Let's see, there's a log there. See, that won't happen anymore after we get that clock. I keep talking about it, and I probably shouldn't, because it's going to be quite a long time, quite a few game years before we are ready for that. And it's definitely a luxury item. It's not something you absolutely need. I know that in my 11-year game, I didn't get it for the longest time because I couldn't see the point. And then whenever I was redoing my farm and for aesthetics, I was like, okay, I'm ready to do that now. So that's why I ended up with it on my farm, and it looks really cool. If you want to see what it looks like, you can go to my playlists, and there is a game review, I forget what I call it, review and overview of games that I have on there, of a number of games, and one of them is Stardew Valley. And on that video I do show screenshots of my 11-year farm, and you can see that clock and how I use it for decoration. I've seen it used many different places. A lot of people use it in their games and their farms. Also mentioning again those forums that I've talked about, there is a place where you can post screenshots of your farms. I think it's called Farm Showcase or something like that. And it's a wonderful, to me it became a wonderful resource, because someone said, I said this before, that I'm not creative, and someone said, yes you are, your farm looks beautiful. Well, yeah, it does look beautiful, but how can I take the credit for that when I stole the ideas? It's like, okay, I don't know how to make this look this way, and I just went on there and it was like, wow, I like this, 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 and this. And that's how I ended up with what I think is a really well functioning, easy to manage, but really aesthetically pleasing farm. That was my goal. I also wanted to mention something about the farmhouse, and that it was our last upgrade. Technically yes, and technically no. It's our last paid upgrade. There is there's renovations that you can do to your farmhouse after you've done the last upgrade, like I've done. You can add, you can remove cribs. So I know that there was I think our previous video, Harvey asked, should we have kids? And I told him yes. And you can do that twice, I think. And then once those babies grow up, you don't need the cribs anymore. And so you could do a renovation to remove the cribs. You can add another room up on top, which is like, I think it's already there. It's like a garden. You can add a room to the south of the bedrooms. And I think you can add a room to the right of the kids' room. So if you happen to look at the video I talked about that has the screenshot, I think it has a screenshot of the inside of my farmhouse. If it doesn't, I'll have to check. Let me know. You can tell me if it doesn't. I can show it. All of those rooms can be decorated. So I had a blast doing that, and I love the decorating part of it. I know you're going, why, really? Because our farmhouse is not decorated now. No, it's not, because it takes money to do that, to get either the individual things that you can buy, or you can buy a catalog which lets you, a very expensive catalog, where you have unlimited wallpapers and furniture and plants and all kinds of decorative items that you can get from the catalog once you buy it, and it's something you keep in your house. So I do love doing that. It's just I'm not to the point of the game where I can afford that, and I have other things. Nothing's urgent, but eventually I will definitely decorate this farmhouse. So I'm really excited to share that part of the game with you. It's just we're not quite there yet. So went around, grabbed some resources, cleaning up the farm a little bit, and you can see that our stone and our wood are back in supply a little bit better. And I'm still carrying around that oak resin, just really thinking about it. It's like, oh my goodness, we only have 4 deluxe speed grows, and that's just not gonna cut it for springtime. I do plan on probably expanding the planting field. It's just a matter of how much money we make over the winter. It's like, yeah, I'll put that away for now. How much money we can make over the winter, because if I expand the planting field, I want 2 things. I want iridium sprinklers and the Junimo huts. So we will see how things go. As you saw, there's a little message popped up, and it said there was a Spirits Eve festival that had started. It's 10 p.m. So this is the Spirits Eve festival. And say hello to people as we can. And it's like, hello, 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 hello. Talk to everyone. And last season, I'm pretty sure that I had not purchased that Rarecrow. And I want to make sure that I get one of each of the rare crows, meaning they're special ones. They're not the ones that you can craft. If you get all 8, you get something special. And that's another little hint about something. So I could afford it this year, so I went ahead and purchased it. The previous year, I could not. So just running around, say hello to everybody. And there's one thing that's pretty cool about this particular festival. They have so many events throughout the year, 2, I think 1 or 2 per season. And this one has something that's unique and kind of fun. And it's a maze that you can go through. And if you can figure out the maze, you can get a surprise. If you've not watched a previous episode, I won't tell you what it is. But I did come to the event last year, and we got the surprise, and we're going to get it again. And here's the thing about all of these festivals. The first year that in this playthrough, I made sure that I attended every single festival because I wanted you guys to see what they look like. Some of them in the future years, I won't go to them because there's no reason. I have everything I can get from them. I don't need to be talking to people and working on relationships. Hey, this is really funny. Harvey's just standing here. I was hoping you'd find me. He doesn't move. He says that, and then he doesn't move. It's like, okay. So anyway, I see no reason to go to some of them. I mean, they were all interesting, but are they interesting every single time? And to me, they're not. Some of them I'll go again for various reasons, but in some of these cases, like this one, I wanted to come back to this year. But some we won't. If you want to see what those look like, if you don't play this game and you're curious about it, go back and watch the first, I don't know how many episodes from the beginning, and you'll see all of these events that happen. Now you can look right up above there. There's a chest up there. It's like, how can we get to that thing? We'll figure it out. I don't know that if you would, I don't know if there's hints that help you get to this, but I did figure it out eventually. It's like, okay, that looks curious. I mean, I'm not a puzzle person, and I'm really glad that Stardew Valley doesn't have a bunch of puzzles. That would have driven me crazy. So that was a secret way through the hedge, and that takes me up into this cavern. And look up above there. This is really funny. Look at it's the wizard and Linus just standing up there together. It's like, now that is an interesting pairing. And what we get is a golden pumpkin, which is awesome. And I'm not 100% sure of all of the uses of the golden pumpkins, but I'm going to go ahead and get them. It just cracked me up that those two were up there. It's like, okay, why? It's just a strange pairing of those two standing up there together watching this. Just, I don't know. Some of these little things and details like this I just find absolutely fascinating and funny. Let's go say hi to Sam here. It's just a dead end up ahead. Yep, it sure is, guys. So anyway, it's an interesting little festival called Spirits Eve, and it's only one way in and one way out, and I'm going the wrong way. What the heck? Down. There we go. No, down, down, down. Telling my own self while I'm watching my own self. It's like, oh my goodness. So anyway, that is Spirits Eve Festival. This is the maze that gets you the big pumpkin. And you can see all these guys standing around absolutely lost in the maze, apparently. So we're done. Again, this is the only one that starts at 10 p.m. And when we leave here, it will be midnight. And time for Betty Bye for us. If you haven't watched a previous episode, and I haven't said it this so far, I don't think I have. I have kind of a rule for myself. I really like to be in bed by 10 p.m. And there are exceptions to that. As you can see, you end up on your front porch and it's midnight. And it's like, okay, that's 2 golden pumpkins. And look at that. Okay, I didn't realize I had scarecrows. We need them, but eventually we're going to need quite a few more than we have at this time. And now I thought, you know what, I've got plenty of room in my backpack. Maybe we should put a couple things in there so I can put more stuff in there, because I'm running out of room in this chest. I need to create another one, maybe one for inside for keeping special things, and then have one for outside for farm stuff, like extra fence posts and things like that. So I'm not sure. So I was thinking that maybe I would just plop this Rarecrow down somewhere. And you can see we have some. We've got the funny little bear looking one, and we got this one, which I don't know what that one is, and we got the one that looks like a gigantic pumpkin face. And you can see I'm not trying to click that over and over again. I was trying to get around it. It's like, come on. Let's see. I'll have to count and see how many I have. So we'll find them all eventually. I just thought I'll just plop this down just to get it out of my pack right now, because I didn't want to stick it in the chest. Ooh, and look, it's already 12:50, but our pickled somethings are done. I don't know what's in there. So let's grab some more. Fill them up, and so you can see how I fill them quickly. I put it in my hand or whatever, and I right click and walk along all these jars. So it will remove something that's in there, and if you hold it long enough, it will fill whatever's in your hand. When I see that I only have one item left, I know I filled all the jars. If I get to the end and I have 2, whatever vegetable that I'm holding in my hands, that means I've missed a jar or a keg. So I go back and find it. So, all right, chores are done, and it's already almost 2 o'clock in the morning. Oh my gosh. But that is going to end day 27 of fall, and we got a little bit of money. Pickled eggplant, that's what we had grown. So we got $1,500 for that. So fantastic. $4,400 is our take for the day, and that's going to take us to day number 28 of fall in year number 2. So we're getting there. This is the very last day of fall. So we got a few things to do, and we got $35,900 in the bank. That's fantastic. Say good morning to our husband. Oh, thank you so much, Harvey, for making our complete breakfast. And as you can see, I kind of put the breakfasts and whatever foods I get in the refrigerator. They'll get used eventually, maybe. But that's where I put them. It seems like a logical place to put things like that. So eventually we may have to get another refrigerator, but that's a whole nother story. So we're going to come up and fill our water bowl and pet our kitty and kind of go do our morning chores. And I don't think I've mentioned this episode that I had done a poll asking my subscribers if they wanted me to skip past all these morning chores that I do the same every single day. And the majority said leave it in. So that's why you're seeing the morning chores every single day. So if you want to participate in those kinds of polls and things, they are located on my community tab, the main page of my channel. And that's also where I'll make any kind of announcements. There's all kinds of things. Something about the game. Sometimes there's going to be polls. There will be announcements. All kinds of things. I decided Vader is now worth 1026 gold, and I don't want any more void eggs. I've got all that I need in stock, and now I can raise another dinosaur if I so want to, which I do. Dinosaurs are wonderful. All of the animals in here, except for the bunnies, which don't give you eggs, but the dinosaur eggs make the most valuable mayonnaise. So that's one reason why. They also are quiet little creatures, and so yeah, I like quiet little creatures. But at the same time, sorry, Vader, he gave us a iridium quality egg, so he was really trying to hang around, but that's okay. We sent him to a good home, so that's what we did. He got rehomed somewhere. So I'm putting all of the eggs in my chest, and then I look and see which I'm going to do. If I can, I had, oh yeah, I want to grow a dinosaur, and then I'm just going to take a regular egg. So at this time, we have one chicken, one duck, the rest are dinosaurs, and now we're going to have another dinosaur. So that's what we got going on there. Oh, and our bunny rabbit is in there, and I don't know why they choose that way. Oh, hello there. Another ancient fruit. Yes, yes, yes. And so I'm looking around, and oh, the apples are ready. We'll grab those. So what's growing up above is ancient fruit, and we had enough iridium ore to make one sprinkler, which means we can grow 24 plants around that. So my plan will be to have 3 plots of 24 for ancient fruit and 1 plot of the Stardew seeds. But we don't have enough for that, so that's okay. And those have to be replanted. Those plants, like these ancient fruit plants, once you plant them, they're there forever. So that one, I'm going to lose that one on the bottom left-hand corner because I'll be redoing that whole area right there. But I love it that maybe I'm not. Maybe I might be able to fix that. I'm not sure. But it's wonderful. The ancient fruits, that's why so many people talk about those on the forums, is that they're amazing because you will plant them once and they just keep producing forever, infinitely, when you put them inside the greenhouse like that. And that's what I like to do. That's what I use my greenhouse for, that and the fruit trees. One thing that I'll be doing every morning is running down and looking and seeing, oh, how are things going. So in this case, I'm going to be putting cheese one at a time in here. Again, eventually I'll let them all synchronize, but for now, we can see that it's gold star. When it's done, they turn into iridium stars. So it'll be purple stars on those chests, mean they're done. So that's awesome. I'm very excited about that, and show you how the difference in the price, which I should have gone back. I'll have to look it up, and so when it happens, I'll tell you the difference. But man, it will make us some good money. So we're going to go ahead and harvest everything we can. Looks like we are going to lose some stuff. I really hate that. I don't remember what those are. They may be pumpkins that I planted too late. But this is the last day of the season, so nothing else will grow at this point. So we'll have to let our garden go to whatever, fallow, let it go, and decide what we're going to do. And again, I haven't decided yet on if we're going to, and I spent those wrong pies, if we're going to have enough money to do what I want to do, which is do iridium quality sprinklers with Junimo huts in the middle that will do all the harvesting. So I'm not sure if we're going to be there in the spring or not. It depends on money and iridium ore, if we're going to get enough iridium ore to be able to make those sprinklers. And I'm going to have to look at my layout of my farm that I'm going to be working towards to see how many we're going to need and how much money we're going to have to purchase the Junimo huts. And I don't remember how much they were for sure. So we'll see. Hopefully spring would be great if we could do it in the spring. If not, we'll just do it in the summer. Again, it's no rush. There are certain things that I absolutely positively want and needed to get done by the end of this second year. And as it's turned out, I believe I've achieved everything that I had set to do, which namely, I wanted to upgrade the farmhouse at least to where I got it, and I got it a step further. So that's great. And then I wanted to make sure that I was at 8 heart relationships with at least 10 villagers, and I've achieved that. I wanted to make sure that I was married in the game, and I achieved that. And there was a number of things I'm not sure. I'm looking at I'm not looking at a list. I'm going by my memory, which is really dangerous. So I've achieved a number of things that I had set out that I wanted to get done. And once I got them all done, then it's like everything else is chill. We can do things in our own way in time. We don't have a set schedule. So in 29 days, you're going to find out why I was so adamant about those things that I wanted to get done. I don't want to spoil the surprise for those who haven't played Stardew Valley before, or they haven't got to that point before. It's a very cool event, and so those things matter in that event. So we'll see when we get there. I know you're driving some of you crazy with me talking about that. I don't mean to drive you crazy, but I also don't want to spoil the fun. So what I'm trying to do here on the minerals, with the exception of the earth crystals and the jade, I'm going to keep 5 of everything else. And then then the rest of them get sold, because I don't know that I need to keep any more than that. So that's where I'm kind of going with that. We ended up foraging some wild plums. And if you're looking at my, how many did I have of these? Oh, fantastic. I am really excited about the blackberries because once we met up with a bear, if you haven't watched the previous episode, we met up with a bear and he wanted something special. And we gave the special something to the bear. He said that blackberries and salmon berries are now worth 3 times what they were worth. So I'm really curious on those items and how much we're going to get for them. What I'm doing now is kind of pulling stuff out that I think I'm going to go ahead and put in the chests, in the preserve jars or the kegs. These are the fruits. Then we're going to look through the vegetables too and see what we can pickle. And some things can be pickled, some things can be made wine. And so these are the things that I'm going to make wine with, and then we'll go back later and find out what we're going to pickle. And again, processing things makes so much more money than just selling them. So I was very excited about that. And as I go along, I'm going to start knocking some of these trees down. And again, if I left the small ones, they got bigger, and that's great. And I'm trying to, I really, really, really would love it if we would get some sap or oak resin from the ones that are tapped, but I just don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to go dormant. We won't get any more this year. Oh, look at this. It really does pay to clear your grass. We got a warp totem to the farm, so that's awesome. And that's the same thing as having a scepter. You click on it and it brings you to the farm. The warp totems, you can go different places. You can go to the mountains, the beach, the farm. Not sure if there's other ones. I never really actually use them much, but if you on those locations, like on the farm, right above to the up and left of the farmhouse, there's a little, looks like a little bear. Looks like a stone statue of a bear, and if you warped to the farm, that's where you would end up. So each of those locations that I mentioned have one of those little statues, and that's where you end up if you click it. I just never got in the habit of using them much. I forget about them. I forget that I have them because I usually stick them far down in my pack that I don't even remember that they are there. So that's probably not a good thing. And they're useful. I'm sure they're useful. You get them as special gifts, and you can actually craft them. They are on your craft menu. And so I probably should use them more. It's a way for fast travel. It's a way to get around quicker. And it's like a magical thing, because Stardew Valley is a magical world. And so that's just a little piece of that. So again, I guess I don't really worry about it much, and maybe that's why I forget that they're there. So we're taking some time the rest of this day to kind of clear some more wood. We do need wood, and so I thought let's just go ahead and get some while we're don't have anything else that's urgent at this time, and clear out some of the stone and other things that are kind of in our way. I kind of want to let those little trees grow. I don't know if they grow. I know they go dormant, so you couldn't get sap or anything from them, but I don't know if they mature into full trees during the winter. I guess I could leave them and find out. We'll see. It just all depends on if and when we are ready to start laying out the rest of the farm. And there's quite a few things that I am really planning in my head that I want to do. It's like, if I can get the right tool, I probably could hit these things. It's hard to see because I'm looking through trees and stuff. So anyway, there's just lots of things that I want to do. It's going to take a while to have the final result. I don't know what I'm going to do with these mushroom trees because they aren't where I want them to be. And what happens is, if first off, the first one especially, if all of it magically turns a regular tree into a mushroom tree. That's how it all begins. And then that tree starts dropping seeds below it if the ground is clear around it. So it's a way of marching the trees along to get them where you want them to be. So they're used for farm decoration, basically. You can also tap them and get mushrooms from them. So that's a useful thing. Plus they're really pretty and they make really neat decorations. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm kind of clearing the area around it because I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I haven't even touched this part of the farm. So for now, it's mostly clearing area and leaving those for whenever. I don't want to knock them down or anything. I want to let them keep growing by themselves. So just doing a little cleaning up here on our very last day of fall in year number 2. And so I'm just really excited about sharing this growth of this farm with you. So I'll have to take some screenshots. I think I have one from the very beginning, and then as we continue on, as we make changes, I need to take more screenshots for you so you can see our progression and how we got from where we were, which was this awful looking place with a bunch of trash laying around the farm, to a beautiful fully functioning, self-sustaining farm, which is where we will end up eventually. So as you can see, that was I had 18 wood out of just chopping regular old trees. So that's fantastic. So our wood supply is back up. Our coal supply is down. It's like, oh my gosh, we need to get the coal supply back up. So, I can make another kiln, charcoal kiln if I want, or I can just keep the one that I have and take it a day at a time. So I'm not sure. It just depends on what we end up needing. So I'm moving things around. That takes me back to the farm. So I have plenty of room in my backpack after I expanded to that 3rd level on the bottom. So it's not an issue right now of running out of room. And I find that that's very sufficient. And half the time I carry all my tools around with me. Oh, look at that coffee bean waiting for spring. Yes, yes, yes. We got our coffee bean there in our last episode. So you need to check that out if you haven't seen that before, because that was very exciting that happened. So this is going to probably, I'm kind of looking around here and saying, what else do I want to clean up? What am I going to do with this? I'm kind of thinking in my head, winter's coming. What are we going to do? And I'm kind of making a plan so that I know focus on what we're going to be doing in the winter. So I'm working on that, and it's going to be really fun. I don't know why I keep making more. Yeah. I just can't not. It's like, okay, let's make some more. Because we have plenty of copper ore, plenty of iron ore, thanks to some trips to various locations that got us that. And we'll just keep cranking along because I really don't want to run short or run out. So I'm looking at the time. It's like, okay, it's 8:40. I don't want to putz around anymore. And I want to come in and say hello to everybody. And hello to Harvey. And he goes to bed at 10. And I did finish everything I needed to do. Thank you for asking. And he says, I'm self-sufficient. So Harvey is not a needy guy at all. So with that, we're going to end our day and the episode. Our next episode is going to be winter, which is very exciting. Thank you for following along. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. It helps YouTube like me better, and it makes me feel like I'm doing something that other people find valuable. So keep watching. But the most important thing is I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day.